4,260 pounds, the 19 DB XL Wildwood X-Lite here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is a fantastic option. Whether you are looking to swap out of the family pop-up, get into your first camper, maybe have a limited tow capacity, because it gives us an improved camp kitchen from the previous generation and all the really smart, important features that matter, like tons of refrigerator space that rivals a fifth wheel in terms of fridge capacity, stable steps, a Murphy bed to give us the space and feel of a slide out without the length, weight, and cost of a slide, and the bunks for that easy family camping scenario in a clean, easy cleaning rather, carpetless floor plan. That beautiful exterior revision, it continues inside. Pretty much every surface in this RV was touched up in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's almost got like a pseudo sort of farmhouse thing going on, like you see the accent wall above that Murphy bed sofa right there. And that is absolutely a calling card fixture of this floor plan. What's really cool about this thing is, like I said outside, it gives you the space, the seating, and the sleeping of a slide-out camper without the extra length, weight, and cost of that slide. And this is one of many things that makes this model so stinking popular and so good. They do a good Murphy bed in this. This has a gas strut lift system. It has a locking mechanism so you won't get, I call it lawn chaired, you won't get dumped up into the nose of this thing. And it gives you all the, like I said, all the feature and function of a normal front camper bedroom, but when you want it. And you can put it away when you don't. And it keeps the camper lighter weight, shorter length, less cost, and that is all good stuff. Now, if you notice, all of the windows in this thing have those roll-down blackout privacy shades. So if you really want to blot out the sun, or ignore a nosy neighbor or a shirtless neighbor, though I suppose it depends on the neighbor in question without a shirt, but typically the neighbor you have at an RV campsite is not the type you want to see without a shirt. Moving on, before I lose my job. Both sides of the bed also get equal treatment. You have sealed edge thermofoil counters throughout the entire RV. That's another update of this generation of Wildwood. Last year, this was different from that. Now they're all the same. You also see that you have household and USB outlets on both sides of the bed. You might be going, what do you talk about? I only see USBs. Well, take a look at what they did. They actually reinstituted a classic feature. They put that little cutaway inside of their full-length hanging wardrobe. So there's no sharp corners where you're going to get stabbed on that. But they also moved the household outlet inside, and they created a really neat, really smart, dedicated CPAP storage closet. And that is just cool. And the way they handled the storage under the Murphy sofa is pretty slick, because what it allows you is full access to the entirety of the pass-through storage compartment, whether you're inside or outside of the RV. And where that's really cool is, let's say you have some cargo shipped in transit. Let's say you loaded your stuff over here, but you had to take one of those sharp corners, or some idiot cut you off and you had to swerve real quick, and that cargo shifts to under the sofa. From outside the RV, that stuff is hard to get to. But now we don't have that problem, do we? Now you can access everything. And then the little details. Very, very good detail execution. Putting a little sort of mini side stands just to kind of help mask that gap in the mechanical thing, so it gives it a nice, clean, consistent look. Just really, really well done. Now you've got awesome visibility over here on the campsite of this RV, as you're seeing. I've got that screen door working for us right now, and of course you always have that big campsite viewing window right there. Also up top, central air. In years past in Wildwood, that would have been an option in an X-Lite, and that's becoming a standard feature, thankfully, with an LED light package. Now, all of our air vents can also be controlled individually, so if you don't want the air blowing right on you, but you want, and someone else wants it blowing on them, you can do that. Should you choose to do some entertainment upgrading on this Wildwood, that is where you would go, mounting a TV and swing arm bracket of your choice, with your entertainment unit and your master kind of control panel switches over here right by the door, where they're up high away from the kids, but very easily accessible for mom and dad. Should you choose to add something like a Roku stick or a Blu-ray player, you do have the HDMI outlets there to be able to do that. And as we come down, take a look, again, campsite viewing window, which is actually really mucking with my camera right now. But look at the cushions on this dinette. They have 4 individualized cushions. They're kind of breaking that trend of what looks like a bench, and they're giving it a little bit more of kind of a comfy couch kind of feel. But that is just one of several things this dinette has going for it. First, once again, that big viewing window. has that blackout privacy shade, and it extends down well past the window. So even though there's some light bleeding in through the day, notice that where your head would be on a pillow, you're not going to get stabbed in the eyes with that light. Another thing that's easier to see now that the table's out of the way is that handy household outlet right there next to the dining table. So whether you're going to use it, put a little coffee maker there, some phone chargers or whatever, you're all set. Now, like most dinettes, it folds down into a sleeper. It does so a little differently from most with that new cushion backer. But this is one of the things I love most about these, is Wildwood's had this, what they call stow-and-go storage system for a while now. But they've gone to newer, larger totes, and you notice the tops, how they're interlocking and stackable. I call it the superior stackable stow-and-go system, and I am glad it is here to stay. Now, you'll also find a nice wide-open storage pocket right below the bottom bunk here. And, I mean, anything you can do to kind of keep this open, to give you room for more duffel bags and stuff, always a welcome feature. Now, you might notice that big square box staring at us. That's the outside camp kitchen that we'll take a look at outdoors, which is blissfully improved. It is awesome. I like the one single heavy-duty support beam, but what's cool is how Wildwood, being such a high-volume brand, they can kind of one-off things. This is a feature they don't use in a lot of other floor plans. Most RV brands, if they can't use it on like 7 or 8 models, they won't do it. So they have the volume to be able to do a couple sort of floor plan specific things. Now, you can see upper and lower bunks both have USB plugs, so both kids are good on a rainy day. In addition to central air, we have cabinet ducted heat, which means no floor heat ducts. Now, while that will reduce the total heating airflow you're going to get in an RV, the fact is this is such a small camper, that's just really not too big of a deal. This is not made to be an Arctic camper. This is a spring, summer, fall family camper, so you don't need floor vents in here. You need floor vents in a true Four Seasons kind of job. Now, the fact is, though, this is going to be easy cleaning, good for kids, good for pets. You get the idea. If they spill a drink, no sweat. Plywood full extension drawers here, and as we pan our way up, notice that countertop extension leaf. That does need to fold because of the Murphy bed type system. And again, all of the countertops, the tables, everything are that sealed edge press membrane thermal foil material is what the technical name for it. Handy dish drying rack below that high-rise sprayer faucet so we can actually wash some dishes. And a stove cover. Isn't it funny how the little things make a big difference? And that's what Wildwood's good at, are the little things, like adding a shelf to this overhead cabinet up here, right below this beautifully accented ceiling panel. It doubles the dry storage capacity you have there. And now, this is a largest in class feature. 10.7 cubic foot refrigerator. This is not a residential fridge. This is a 12-volt compressor fridge. And it only draws 3 amps, so it is off-grid friendly very easily. We'll talk a little bit more about that outside. But this is nearly double the refrigerator size that you typically get out of something in this class and category. You can always find another place to put a box of cereal. There's only one place you can keep cold stuff, and they give you more room for it in these Wildwoods. I also like the little pattern they have in that glass, just to break up some of that potential monotony. Everything in here looks really good, whether it's open or closed. And note that that is a big breeze window for the kitchen. So sliding our way forward here, this is what's called a split bath back here next to these bunks, where the sink is actually outside of the main bathroom cavity. So you do have a dedicated bath sink, but what this lets you do is one kid or one person can be using the shower or the potty or whatever, and somebody else can be over here washing their hands, brushing their teeth, etc. And that is a big medicine cabinet, not just a mirror glued against the wall. You might also notice in years past, things like the skylight and the shower surround panels that you're looking at in here, those were optional pieces of equipment. The skylight is actually still technically optional, though we like to apply them almost any chance we have here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. The shower surround, thankfully, has become standard, and you can see we have a foot flush stool there with plenty of legroom, even for adults like me with long legs. And if you've noticed the trend on these Wildwoods, it's that they do the big things that really matter all over the place, while still doing the little things very well. And here's a good example of that. Up front here, power tongue jack. Simple, smart, easy feature. Propane tank enclosure instead of just open tanks. Those are smart, simple little things that you're going to like. Also, the little, I call it the plug buddy, so that your 7-way plug when you reach your destination isn't accidentally, you know, laying down on the ground or something like that. They do those little things that are very simple, easy, that don't cost a lot of money, and they do them really well. They could have easily overlooked any of that, and he could have said, well, it's just an entry-level camper, no big deal, so it doesn't have a power tongue jack. But they didn't, because it's something you're going to use, see, feel, touch every single day. They do the important stuff really well. And man, compared to the brown and browner skin package generation, I could not be happier with the way these things are looking right now. But they still maintain their tough coat skin package. So your darker aluminum bands are 33% thicker, and your nose skin is 67% thicker, and the entire sidewall, like any of your sidewall aluminum, has an anti-scratch coating applied to it, so that if you're at a campground or you pull into a place that has like a low-hanging tree branch or something like that, it's far, far less likely to scar and mar up the side of your trailer. Now, up front here, you can see one of the differences between an X-Lite and a full-blown Wildwood, and that is the custom-engineered chassis with the integrated A-frame, which gives this whole thing, it sits lower to the ground. That's why it has a 2-step instead of a 3-step. Also, things like a battery disconnect up here that are all standard features, so that when you are away from your campsite for a while, you don't have phantom load and parasitic load eating away at your batteries. And then down here, another absolutely stellar standard feature. You find these on big wide body fifth wheels sometimes. Even then it's rare. But in this class, I'm not aware of anyone else doing this with these strong arm stabilizer jacks on the front and rear stabilizers, so that you can like basically quarter crank those things. And the RV, I always say it's going to feel like it's parked on a concrete slab. Here's another thing I learned doing a Wildwood factory walkthrough tour. That's one of the benefits of us being so local to the manufacturer. We can learn some extra under the skin factoids here. The fact that these have heavier rated power stabilizer jacks than anything else in this class. They are stronger, can hold more weight, which means more stability for you. Another cool thing that I learned during that tour, like someone's gonna ask, well, does it have an enclosed belly? No, the X-Lites do not. However, one thing they have always done is they actually run the water lines for these X-Lites above the insulation of the flooring, so that the water lines are always protected. It's like I said, they're doing the things that really matter, they're doing them well, and then they're also not skimping on the little things. This is a very well-appointed camper. You could easily just say, it's a starter class, but it's a smarter class. I like, not starter class, smarter class. I'm gonna start saying that. That sounds good, don't it? Anyway, backup camera ready. Spare tire is something, that used to be an option. Maybe it's standard, I don't know. We've always put it on our Wildwoods, and we always will. I hope you never need it. I hope that's the biggest waste of money ever. Wouldn't that be good news? Now over here, they've revised the camp kitchen on this model, and they had to move their little campsite utilities sprayer system right here, but you see that it is still present, and I love the fact that, again, they're not skimping on the little things. They are including that handy little multi-function sprayer head right next to that black tank flush right there. And as I back up, quick note, this is a fully walkable roof. This has a 3/8 inch roof decking, 16 inch on center studs, basically all the way around the entire structure, with a 5/8 tongue roof plywood floor decking. But they revised their camp kitchen. This used to have an electric only induction cooktop, and it was 110 electric, so it was not off-grid friendly. Instead, they are really knocking it out here with the Suburban griddle system that slides open to you when you're ready to cook and slides shut. And since the whole RV rides lower to the ground, remember that integrated chassis I told you about? The cooker is down low where you want it. It's not up high where it's going to be burning your face. Now, even out here, they're still using the same sealed edge press membrane countertop type stuff. And that extra little kind of 2 cubic foot-ish, we kind of call it like a dorm fridge, a little college kid fridge. That right there, in conjunction with the 10.7 cubic foot fridge inside, gives this RV, in what we will call that starter smarter class, over 12 cubic foot of cold storage space. Now, just in front of this is a big, beautiful Jayco Eagle fifth wheel. Absolutely gorgeous model. It has a 12 cubic foot fridge. You could buy, I think, 3 or 4 of this Wildwood, and every single one of them has the same fridge capacity as that giant Eagle fifth wheel in front of us. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Sneaking under our power awning here, I want to point out the LCI stable steps. That is standard on all Wildwoods, so that you don't have to worry about upgrading it. But you also don't have to worry about smashing your awning if that awning arm is open with this anti-slam entry door. Even if you fling it like I just did, even if you do the Jean-Claude Van Damme, hammer fist over here, it still catches itself. Magnet holdbacks on these baggage doors make for easier operation. They stay up out of the way. Right next to that, we have our side mount solar prep panel, which if you are dry camping, you can take a 100-watt portable solar panel, put 2 batteries on this camper, and that fridge will run indefinitely, even with some light usage and fan usage during the day. So this camper can be very off-grid friendly. Now down in here, that Murphy bed system they're using is a very good one because it still maintains a very good pass-through storage compartment. But then again, it's the little differences that I like. We kind of call this the cordless jack system on the Wildwoods. So they build this with the expectation that with the 12 to 18 volt power drill, you can just quick run these jacks. So you can basically play NASCAR pit crew, and when you're done doing it, it's got a handy little spot. You notice how everything has a place so that you're not wasting any potential storage capacity in here. Like I said, these are, I'm going to keep saying that, a smarter class of camper. I like that phrase, and they definitely qualify. I tell you, this is this is smarter than the basic entry-level camper that I tend to camp in, but of course it's also newer. So that goes along with the territory. Every year they find a way to get you reinterested, don't they? So with that, give us a call here at Haylett RV. We do hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between, but we don't do hidden dealer fees. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.